Hi everyone, it's me, and today let's watch this video together. Oh, wow, this intro is very nostalgic. Fight against ignorance stereotypes. They fight for understanding, respect. Game exchange, bring culture to gaming.
Hi everyone, Gaijin Goomba here, and welcome to another culturally enlightening episode of Game Exchange. Final Fantasy. I don't know what else to say. There is so much in the series that I can analyze, and today, I want to begin that process. But what's something really cool that I could start with? Then it hit me. The summons, of course. Final Fantasy summons are incredibly rich in cultural inspiration. But are the Final Fantasy summons faithful to the original source? Or did the developers just take the names of mythical beasts because it sounded cool? Well, let's break it down region by region and see how good or bad Square Enix has been being true to the source, starting with the Middle East. First up, let's talk about my favorite summon, Ifrit. Ifrit are really interesting creatures in Arabic folklore because of just how deep they are, as they're not inherently good or evil. They dwell underground or in catacombs in patriarchal societies. Ifrit are also both male and female, and they wed each other within their societies. Sometimes they'll even marry humans. They're also a type of Jinn, who, like all Jinn, are beings of fire. So how well represented are Ifrit in Final Fantasy? The Final Fantasy Ifrit is very similar to the original, as both of them are fairly monstrous and beings of complete fire. Most of the time too, when summoned, Ifrit comes out of the ground, which is a nod to the fact that they live underground. But there are some inconsistencies. In-game, Ifrit has one if not several sets of horns, which according to old depictions of Ifrit, they don't necessarily have. The Final Fantasy Ifrit too seems just a bit too much like a mindless monster. And really, while I admit Ifrit is a badass, there's very little about him that goes beyond that.
True, fireballs!
In reality, Ifrit are creatures that seem to be far deeper than pure savagery. While that's kind of a downer, I would say that Final Fantasy does do a good job representing the folklore inspiration. So, I have a question for you die-hard fans of Final Fantasy. What do Bahamut and Kasih have in common? Don't worry, I can wait.
No idea.
Don't know? Well, check this out. Again, according to Arabic folklore, these two act as layers that hold up the heavens and the earth. Originally, Bahamut acts as the very largest layer. In fact, he's so massive that mere mortals can't even look at the beast without dying from mind-blowing. On top of Bahamut sits Kuchata, a bull with thousands of eyes, ears, noses, feet, etc. And on top of him sits a ruby, which on top of that sits an angel, which on top of that is holding the 7 Earths. Ooh, that's a lot. So how well are these two represented? Kuchata is represented really well here. Although I seriously doubt the developers could make an aesthetically presentable model of the original Kuchata, but we get the point. Final Fantasy Kuchata has several eyes, which aids in the presentation. What's really cool though is that the red bristles on his back may very well be the ruby in which the angel sits. Bahamut, on the other hand, not so much. Sadly, real Bahamut isn't a gigantic dragon that has pew-pew mouth lasers.
What? I mean, like, pew-pew mouth laser sounds nice, isn't it?
In reality, Bahamut is a giant fish who swims the waters of the dark nether. While there are examples of Bahamut coming from the cosmos in Final Fantasy, it's still fairly inaccurate. At this point, I'm sure a lot of you are asking, why didn't they just make Bahamut into the giant fish model? That was saved for Leviathan. Leviathan is another summon that takes a whole lot of inspiration from Middle Eastern culture. In Job and Isaiah from the Bible, it's depicted as just a massive sea creature. However, there are many cultures who view Leviathan differently. Some think he represents the element of water. Some say he represents the direction west. Some depict him as one of the crown princes of hell. And others just see Leviathan as a representation of the devil himself. Alternatively, some cultures speculate that he was a crocodile-type monster who was the enemy of the Egyptian god Horus. How well does Leviathan hold up? Pretty good, actually. What makes it work so well is that Leviathan is just represented in so many different ways, there's a lot to choose from. While I'm sure the developers didn't want to have Leviathan be a satanic beast, after all that's what Hades and Doom Train is for, going with the sea monster and the elemental water motif works out pretty well. The last Middle Eastern summon I'd like to talk about is Gilgamesh. To some of you, the name may be very familiar, and it should be. Gilgamesh is not only one of the oldest stories ever written, it's also a really darn good Mesopotamian tale. Without spoiling too much, Gilgamesh, king of Uruk, comes across a wild man named Enkidu. While they started off as mild adversaries, they become just like brothers in an epic tale of battles, brotherhood, bitter ends, and boobies. Yeah, that last part wasn't a joke either.
What? Okay. Let's keep it family friendly. Let's keep it wholesome. Thank you so much.
Anyway, it's a really good story, but how does the Final Fantasy Gilgamesh hold up? Not at all.
Ooh. How does it hold up? Not at all.
The Final Fantasy version lacks darn near everything. There's nothing that shows Gilgamesh as being regal, no sign of his better half Enkidu, and with all these arms and weapons, he's just basically a different form of Ashura. And that covers the major summons with Middle Eastern origins, mostly well represented with a few oddities here and there. But we can't stop there. There's far more regions, cultures, and summons to analyze. But until then, this is Gaijin Goomba, signing out.
Sign out.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to check out my channel for more videos involving culture and video games. And as always, be sure to check out the Game Theorists channel, where MatPat, Ronnie, and myself do our very best to blow your minds with all kinds of information from your favorite video games. See you then!
See ya! Oh, we miss you, Ronnie. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this video has been very knowledgeable and very entertaining to watch for you. If you do like this video, please remember to watch more of my videos by like, share and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Also, don't forget to follow my channel. Thank you so much. I hope to see you in my next video. But hey, that's just a game exchange. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Thank you.